Who's gonna do the random shit?
We'll just leave it silent out of respect.
Solidarity.
For missing Brian, yeah.
Welcome to the CouncilCast. This is episode 265, July 18th, 2023. The council is now in session, and as with every week, we will make arbitrary decisions about topics on science, technology, and random shit. With a little background and absolutely no expertise. All CouncilCast decisions are final and have no bearing on anything whatsoever.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good stand-in, if I do say so myself.
It was definitely part of our high-quality content. Definitely one of the best.
It's not a puma.
Definitely better. The only thing that could have been better is... Whoa, that was weird. Is if a Mars rover found life on Mars, which apparently it did in the last week.
Yes.
What?
You know what's weird is that I went to this article, and what freaked me out was that the little head on top of the robot moves in the image.
Wait.
And I was like, what?
Well, now I'm interested in looking at the article.
Well, now you should actually read the article. But apparently... that doesn't matter because this is the CouncilCast, and all that matters is that NASA's Perseverance rover has apparently found preserved organic molecules on Mars. It's nothing organic, like an organism, but apparently they have found some organic material living on Mars, I guess. It's been frozen over during the test of time. But might be the building blocks of life as it once existed on Mars. Who knows?
So like Mars was all like, hey, maybe we could support life, and then like just gave up, or like the only thing that's left after that civilization like nuked itself to death is just a couple of those molecules.
Yep. Yeah, I think at some point in time there's probably a thriving society there, and they decided to start importing sand, and it just multiplied and took over, and this is all that's left.
They imported the spice.
They imported spice, yes.
Nice.
That sounds about right. So yeah, I mean, I guess good for them. I guess we do have to wait until the Mars, the sample returns to Earth, though. Before we actually know what it means, but they apparently found something.
So, how are they getting it back?
With rockets.
They have some rockets lined up to send cool stuff back?
Apparently. I'm going to go with yes.
Okay, great. Sounds pretty
either that or they're... Oh, nope. Apparently they have a whole nother mission that is supposed to launch sometime in the future to go collect all of these samples.
I'm so confused with what's happening. Are we fucking with me, or is this like...
No one's fucking with you.
They did find preserved organic molecules, we just don't have them yet?
Yeah. And they're going to go pick them up. There's going to be like a big old sample bus that swings by Mars and picks up all the samples.
It seems like...
Can't Miss Frizzle just do it?
What they should have done is built a robot lab that would just analyze stuff on Mars and send back the data.
Oh, obviously. Why didn't we build the lab analysis building there first?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they did on that movie with Mark Wahlberg or whatever when he ate potatoes.
Because we didn't have the Mark Wahlberg. Because we didn't have the SpaceX rockets yet to get there.
Well, I can't believe that Amazon just can't deliver a pre-built testing lab to Mars.
Overnight shipping.
This is probably the point we should all be taking away from the article. As planetary scientists and astrobiologists, we are very careful with laying out claiming that life is the source of organics or possible biosignatures is a quote-unquote last resort hypothesis, Hollis said, meaning we would need to rule out any non-biological sources first, meaning that it's not necessarily some form
It
of
doesn't necessarily
past,
mean life.
Yeah, life
Correct.
made the quote-unquote organics. Like, they could be made via some process that isn't what we would consider a life form.
Correct. Yep. So, I mean, I guess thumbs up for a sample return mission. So, hopefully that thing launches sometime in the near future.
Yeah. Didn't Elon say he's going to be the first person to go colonize Mars and he can send back the samples?
Oh, that must be it. He's just going to go up there and throw them back.
Just go. I mean, here
What's
actually
the fastest pitcher? Can we get a fastest pitcher to go there and throw all the samples back to Earth?
Mystery.
How far can you throw something in outer space? This is what I want to know. Could he just like fly his rocket up to just outside of the atmosphere of Mars and throw it? If he had perfect aim, right? Let's say for aiming purposes, he just uses like a slingshot or something and is able to point it toward Earth. How far would it make it? There's no gravity.
I mean,
would it pick up speed?
It would make it. Probably not.
It probably would not make it because of aiming or because it would just like run out of steam.
I don't think he could aim that good.
That's the whole problem. No, we've ruled out the aiming bit. We know that we can aim. Like, let's say
I guess in theory it could probably get there.
You shoot a bullet in space. How far does a bullet go?
Slow. As far as it can go until it hits something.
Gosh, you guys are like usually you come up with stuff and you're like, oh, actually you need to use Pythagoras theorem and you need to run it through Python, and we can have a whole code written up to tell you how far it. Or I actually opened a website last week that did it, and there was a calculator. You guys usually have this stuff for me.
Really, really far.
Oh, gosh. Okay, great.
Really goddamn far. I had scrolled down far enough on this Gizmodo, and I didn't know that Gizmodo did this because I don't Giz or Modo.
Switches to another topic.
Yeah, so the little tab that I thought was my Mars Perseverance rover stuff, I looked up, and and I hadn't read the title of the article. So the little tab now was named Taco Tuesday has been liberated. And so I was like, wait, why is the Mars Taco Tuesday?
Legitimately, I only know that because I've had that happen to me when I was building the podcast list, and I'm like, wait a minute, that wasn't the topic that I was supposed to have copied. The URL is different.
Whoopsies.
Super annoying. Whoopsies.
Well, something else that is whoopsies is that apparently aspartame may or may not kill you.
Is that how you say it? It's not aspartame?
I think it's aspartame. That's how,
no idea.
I don't know.
I've never actually tried to say it. I just drink Diet Coke by the gallon.
Okay.
I should probably stop, huh? What am I supposed to drink instead?
Well,
tea?
Not necessarily.
Should I drink tea?
The World Health Organization.
See, I had seen that. I had seen a headline a couple weeks ago that said WHO is going to declare ass pound me unhealthy, and it's a carcinogen. And at that time, the thing I had quickly skimmed was, we don't know how much of it. Maybe your case of Coke a day is fine. We don't know.
So yes, that's pretty much the end result here is that the International Agency for Research on Cancer declared that aspartame is possibly carcinogenic. So apparently what this means, though, is that the research center, they only assess the hazard of a given substance, but they do not assess the risk.
You know, looking at this picture of the Diet Coke can, it's not really the aspartame I have a question about. It's the phenylalanine. What the fuck is that? there's a specific warning that says contains a source of blah blah blah, and I have literally never Googled it. The fuck is that shit? Is it bad?
Thermal
It's
detonators.
way
what did you
worse
call
than
it?
aspartame.
Is it?
I have no idea.
Phenol glands.
Phenylalanine.
Phenylalanine. Yeah, phenylalanine.
Phenylalanine.
Probably that sounds right. But apparently, according to the research center, though, so here's their example: is that they
I
assess
just
the
typed it
hazard,
in
but
and
not
it
the
says
risk.
you might have conductivity errors.
Okay, Andy.
But their example is, imagine this, is that a hazard is a meteor destroying the Earth or the sun causing cancer, but that does not tell you what your risk is of having that happen. So to your point, yes, it could potentially be a problem, but you may have to drink like 1,000 cans a day for it to happen.
See, that's my question, because I'm not, I could back off and get down to 1,000 a day and be good.
This is one of the saddest Wikipedia pages.
Jesus.
That's how you draw it.
It's in the United States. Any product that has aspartame must carry a warning about the phenylalanine. This warning helps people with PKU avoid those products. So there's apparently
the hell is PKU?
I don't know, some condition, I assume.
Pikachu?
Yeah, Pikachu. People with Pikachu have to avoid these products.
Damn.
Maybe
you don't want to catch them all.
Phenylketonuria is a rare inherited disorder that causes an amino acid called phenylalanine to build up in the body. So if you get more of this, you would just be building up more, and that's not great, probably. I don't know what actually happens.
So here we go. So the FDA is apparently the organization that determines the risk level of aspartame. So like, how much do you actually have to drink to make it be a problem?
Sure.
And apparently there's a couple other groups that do this, but the FDA apparently has set it at 50 milligrams per kilogram of weight. So you would have to supposedly ingest roughly, if you weighed 150 pounds, you'd have to ingest around 3,400 milligrams per day.
Or how much is in aspartame?
So a 12-ounce can of Diet Coke has around 200 milligrams. This would mean you would need to consume about 17 cans of Diet Coke every day for the rest of your life to potentially maybe get cancer.
Well, that's a risk I'm willing to take.
So now I want to know, how many cans of Coke does Matt drink a day? And they do point out that the carcinogen doesn't necessarily cause cancer in every circumstance. So
I remember doing this activity when we were in when I was in college. We did a chemistry class. We had to go into labs, and then we did all this math to figure out how much caffeine we would need to drink to OD on caffeine.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, well, this is how much, based off of, this is how much it takes to kill a rat or whatever, lab rats. I don't know. They're like, okay, so we have to distill and figure out how much caffeine is in a can of Coke. They're like, you would, basically, we found out that you would drown from the sheer amount of liquid you had in your system before you could kill yourself of caffeine from drinking Coke.
Yeah, I mean, I remember reading
and
stuff
also
about
not
caffeine.
To mention the amount of caffeine, like ramping up your heart rate, and the sugar in there, like you'd have a heart attack before you could die of caffeine overdose.
Yeah, there's other stuff like that too, and I remember the caffeine one. Yeah, it's like you'd have to. There's going to be other problems before you die from the caffeine intake.
Yeah, from that specifically, I wonder. Well, no, if you, I was thinking like if you had like no dose, right?
You're just popping those.
If you're just popping no-dos, and so it's just like giant caffeine pills. Well, you're still going to have like a heart attack before the caffeine kills you. I mean, the caffeine will kill you, but not for the reasons you think it will. So,
yeah,
it's the hope that kills you. That's what they learned on Ted Lasso.
There you go. Well, I guess if you are a Diet Coke drinker and like aspartame, I guess you probably don't have too much to worry if you're not drinking more than 17 cans of Coke a day. So
Good to know.
thumbs. I don't know what to do for thumbs tonight on this one.
Yeah, that's a weird one to vote for.
Yeah, I'm
Thumbs
gonna go with
up
a thumbs
for
down for aspartame in general. So
thumbs up for science.
there you go.
They
Well,
did it. They scienced the hell out of that.
something that doesn't require science though is how well you spell. And apparently, it turns out that the U.S. military is terrible at spelling or typing, because
Yeah.
apparently, a bunch of people have internally in the military, instead of typing .mil at the end of their email addresses, they have been skipping the I and just going straight to .ml, which apparently is the domain for the West African country of Mali.
Okay.
And so all these people have up to 117,000 messages have been sent to the country of Mali
Oh, in
from the government.
what?
Yes.
It makes me so mad that it makes me so mad that like we have so many security protocols in place for the private sector, and the government's like, yeah, no, we'll just build it ourselves.
Sounds about right.
And then they don't like double check. Like every time that I go to set up a new brand account and I'm trying to get a web domain or something like that, I'm like, are people going to confuse this domain with anything else out there? And in this situation, yeah, this is kind of a big one where you don't want a typo to release sensitive information. I hope that most of them were just like, hey, what are you doing after work? We were going to go grab some beers. I wonder how many of those emails got sent.
Entirely possible. I mean, the interesting thing is, I mean, obviously there is nobody who probably had that email address at a .mil, .ml. So, fortunately, it's probably not going to anybody except for the actual person who manages the domain, who can apparently read all those messages.
So the government.
Yeah, so pretty awesome from that standpoint. How apparently poorly, to your point, thought out. Like, hey, what would happen if somebody mistyped our URL or
isn't that like
our
the
email
whole
address?
point? Like, isn't that what is your job? Our job is defending the country. Okay. Wouldn't you just like start thinking about like have a whole team dedicated to thinking of all the ways that data could be leaked? Maybe they do. Maybe they were the ones sending the emails. Who knows?
Could be. Yeah, it's I guess good for them. The best part is apparently the guy who found this, who runs the domain, has apparently been trying to contact the American government for over a year, to tell them this is a problem. Maybe he should have tried sending it to a .ml web address.
Random shit.
He was emailing the wrong people.
You have I think you're connected to your AirPod for sound, but so wait, the Mali government official was emailing them back saying, hey, you're sending stuff to the wrong place. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Hey, just a friendly reminder that I have all of your secrets. I know that Terry's meeting Jordan for drinks after work on Friday.
Yeah, I'm going to give a thumbs down to typos.
I did not RSVP for the birthday cake on Tuesday.
You know what would be hilarious is if the guy who runs the domain like could set up a automatic forwarding so that anything that came in like just like he fixed it for him and it just went right to the person's email address that it was supposed to go to. He's just
Wait
forwarding
a minute.
all of the military's email through Molly.
So we need to just do, you know what? How about I just send him an email and say, hey, here's an idea. How about you set up a forward?
That seems pretty secure.
So do we have their actual full .ml?
Yeah, it's .ml. So like you could probably do like here in this case they're like I don't know, Army or Navy.ml, and it probably do anybody's name. It'll go to their
Terry
go to Molly.
at Navy.ml, and it'll show up to this guy and be like, hey, just a quick thought, maybe set up a mail forwarding for all those people who keep screwing up the email.
There you go.
From your friends at CouncilCast.
Fixed it for you.
Hey, sorry I'm late. Is Matt here actually or not?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's incognito right now.
So incognito and I'm gone and just the two of you guys. Oh, he left, didn't he? Right when he heard I was coming.
Yep.
Yeah,
that was
it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the next topic is much better. It was more suited for you anyway, Brian, because the Major League Baseball is going to be debuting a new virtual ballpark.
What?
A what?
A virtual ballpark.
So let me get this straight. I can fly virtual first class and then see
No, you
a game,
can't. It doesn't exist.
And then see a game at a virtual ballpark.
You like virtually never leave your house. So what does this mean? A virtual ballpark? Is it sounds like a video game
with the Apple headset, Vision Pro or whatever it is?
I mean, I'm honestly not entirely sure I understand what this is.
Does
a virtual
anyone
ballpark.
really?
What more explanation do you need?
But yes, apparently this is a company out of the UK who is launching a virtual ballpark where you can watch. I guess it was last Saturday. You can watch the celebrity softball game, whatever that is. But you apparently can just show up and mill around and watch a game virtually as if you're in the ballpark.
That's basically what I've always hoped I could go watch virtually at a virtual ballpark is a celebrity slow pitch softball game.
I was thinking of how many virtuals are in there. You know, virtual park, virtual sport, virtual athletes. Everything in there is fake. That's incredible. I say 2 thumbs up for no. So why do we care?
Because it's virtual.
It's virtually
irresistible.
Brian, they're literally taking your idea and blowing it up.
I know. That's why I think it's the dumbest thing ever. 2 thumbs down.
I mean, I guess I like. I think that this would be cool for like all of the 3 minutes that you want to be in it, and then it'd be like, all right, moving on.
Has anyone pre-ordered Vision Pro headset? Speaking of virtual first class,
I ordered 4. One for Christmas gifts for 4. Oh shoot!
4 of your favorite people.
I'm set up for notification so I can pre-order as soon as it drops.
I already ordered 4 of them.
Yeah, but you're not on the list, Silas. So
I virtually ordered 4 of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm not sure I understand it. I'm gonna go with a thumbs down on this virtual ballpark thing.
So it's like being there without being there. Is that the deal?
Yep, basically. Yeah. I mean, if I have to
and
bring
why would you
hot dog and beer to a virtual baseball game, I'd rather just not do that.
It doesn't sound like such a bad idea if you were going to a real baseball game and not a celebrity softball game. I mean, right. Maybe kind of interesting to get like really good seats for a game if you're a fan. I think that'd be a thumbs up. But it's virtual softball thumbs down.
MKBHD mentioned that in a podcast. One of his videos that he did on the Vision headset, where he's like, "This is the video quality and like the immersiveness of this is pretty amazing, and it could." He said, "I could totally see this being something where you get courtside seats for $50, but you can't afford courtside seats normally. The average person can't, and you can't sell that many courtside seats, but." If you have these headsets and people go, yeah, sure, I'd spend $50 to go sit courtside, and also have the ability then to not
feel like you're there without being there or leaving your house when you never could have gotten the seats in the first place. You know, but virtual first class is where you are having a really crappy experience, and the goggles help you have a good experience. So if you were, for instance, a Mets fan, this would be an amazing thing to couple my idea with their idea so that you could have like a virtually good experience with your virtual team, because your team would be better.
Virtual's starting to sound like not a word to me.
Yeah.
That was that a ground out to the second baseman? No, it was a home run. Look at that. This is amazing. My team is doing so well.
Yeah, what you're experiencing, Matt, is called semantic satiation.
I'm aware, yeah.
Virtual
happens to me sometimes. It's shitty when it happens with a common word like the, and you're like, that's never been a word. What the fuck, you imposter? And then
my favorite is when I do a lot of typing of the word existing at work, and then I type it enough times, I'm like, wait a minute. That's not how you spell existing.
Have I been spelling it wrong this whole time?
Oh my god, I'm stupid.
I think if this idea is courtside seats or box seats or whatever, where I can watch a game that I would normally not be able to watch, I think it's a great idea.
All right. There, got a thumbs up from Brian. Nice. Well, if you didn't want to have something that was virtual and you were wanting to live more in the real,
while playing virtual games.
Okay, Morpheus.
While playing virtual games, you can apparently now buy a haptic T-shirt that makes you feel like you're in a virtual game.
Exactly, like was in Ready Player One. Like all of the Ready Player One stuff is coming to fruition.
Yeah, it is.
About time.
Exactly.
Got the goggles.
Apparently, yeah. You could get the goggles. Maybe they can splash some water on you as you run through a puddle. But yeah, apparently this shirt, which you may be able to buy, is paired up with the launch of Assassin's Creed Mirage, has haptic feedback, so you can feel parkour impacts and exclusive sensations never felt before. If you ever wanted to know what it felt like to be punched by a virtual character, you now can do that.
It tickles.
Hell yeah.
Tickles a little.
Tickles.
I wonder if you can turn it up or down.
I want to get shot for real.
I
bet my KD would go up.
I mean, if somebody was like, "Hey, I have an extra shirt. Do you want to try it out?" I'd say, "Sure." But I don't know if I'm going to go out and buy this. I mean, unless they make one for Fortnite.
I mean, oh,
and I can use V-Bucks to get it.
So apparently they've sold a shirt like this before, and it apparently was $560. So, I mean, that's probably a little steep. I mean, if they were to bundle this in with the game, if you bought the game and you got this for free, sure, that might be cool. Or maybe it's a $10 add-on or something. I don't know.
I wonder if you can crank it up or down. Feel the hits or the shots or whatever at a lower level, or turn it all the way up.
I'm gonna go with you probably can.
Well, then thumbs up.
Yeah, I give it a thumbs up. I'd be willing to try it. Let's put it that way. I just think that $560 is a little steep. So,
what do you
I think
know?
it is perfectly.
I really don't know a whole lot, so I'm obviously not the target audience for this. But I might be the target audience for making Alexa more sexy by adding eyes and a mouth.
Let's take a look at how sexy this
Yes,
images.
Please show our viewers.
Just
how
everyone, just so
sexy
you
this is.
know,
It's not a tuba.
Blaine,
It's not a tumor.
Just so everyone knows.
just everyone knows.
So yeah,
This
if you
is-
ever thought that your Alexa was not very impersonable, here you go. As mine's trying to talk to me. Here you can add one, add a face to yours, and maybe it'll make you talk to it more. I
How's
don't
that
know.
sound? All the lonely people, where do they all come from?
I mean, the eyes blink and
Wow.
everything. That's pretty.
This
That's pretty
looks
creepy.
oddly like Homer Simpson.
Impressive and sad at the same time. I always thought
Sad.
Alexa was had brown eyes.
Why?
I don't know.
I mean, it looks like
Because
something
she's
that
full of
like somebody
shit?
would
Is that
have
what you're gonna say?
cooked up with like a
That's funny.
from the Jetsons or something. That's what this looks like.
You
It's like a
know,
Jetsons.
I think this is
robot.
pretty awesome. It
I mean, I would-
is-
It's like creepy without being weird.
I mean, if you put a little bit of casing around that, I could
Mhm.
probably get behind this. Looks a little fragile, not gonna lie.
It looks incredibly fragile. Super fragilistic.
Maybe a box over it. I mean, impressive that they made it. Maybe it's impressive that it was made, but it's still just weird.
You could get it and just put a paper bag over the top of it, and it'll just be like normal living at home.
Oh, this poor guy. Did one person make it, or was it just one person who made it?
I think it's a YouTuber.
Yeah.
This guy made it.
Of course.
Look at him. He hired that guy from
Of
Breaking
course.
Bad to hammer something.
What
for
does
him.
that mean, Kevin? Or Kevin? Why did I just call you Kevin? Brian. Of course.
Yeah, you can make it whatever you want it to mean.
Like, does he just look like a guy that would build an Alexa robot to you? Is
I
that?
didn't say that out loud.
Of course he did.
Of course.
You might as well
Of
have
course.
with that fucking tone. This is the guy who built it. Of course it is.
That's
Oh.
one big head.
That's a lot of brain power to move an eye and make a mouth squiggle on a screen.
Yeah, it does make it a whole lot bigger. I think if you could miniaturize it a little bit, so that it
Well,
fits
every
better on my
prototype's bigger
desktop.
than it needs to be.
Of course.
I'll wait for version 2 then. But yeah, I'm gonna give him a thumbs up for trying something different. You know.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that he made it, but it's still weird.
I give it a thumbs up because I'm feeling generous.
All right. Well, I think with that, we're gonna move on to our billionaire pitches for the week. Then.
Man, I'm sorry I missed the first two topics. It's about safe. It was about food that you can. So the first one was organic, so I assume that meant it was.
Oh yeah, Matt. I don't know if you heard it. It's 17 cans is your limit. If you drink more than 17 cans per day, every day, you might get cancer.
So if you're drinking less than 17 cans of a typical,
It's probably fine.
Oh, really?
What kind of cancer would
Yeah.
you get from drinking too much aspartame?
Diet cancer?
It's cancer light.
But seriously, what kind of cancer do you get? And you just get like any kind of random
Yeah,
cancer?
did they say specifically what kind, or just all
Specific
cancer risk is
cancer?
elevated?
The very
Uh,
rare
esophageal?
aspartame cancer?
Lower colon, butt
Colon.
cancer,
That's
Butt
coffee.
cancer.
foot cancer.
No, they don't really talk about what type of cancer you'd get. They just say you might get
They
cancer.
always just say that you might get cancer. Well, which one? Where?
And how are you measuring that? Like every person that I've ever talked to who's had cancer, they're not like, well, they went back and did some tests and they
Figured out it was
pinpointed
all
that
that
it was
aspartame.
that aspartame, or it was, they're just like, it always feels very circumstantial. Like, well, what types of things have you done? Well, that sounds like we could blame it on that.
Mhm.
As interesting, like what I mean, what kind of cancer do they get? That is
You play checkers every day. That sounds weird and compulsive.
Looks like you got
So
some fingertip cancer.
from the checkers.
I have a billionaire pitch
Okay.
to go along with the baseball thing. I think it'd be kind of cool if they had a camera in the baseball itself.
Oh, easy, super easy, barely any inconvenience.
So I just looked on YouTube. It is apparently pronounced aspartame.
Oh, I thought you were going to say. I
Aspartame.
just looked on
Yep.
on Amazon and found baseballs with cameras in them.
No.
So
I
you
give
would
that idea a
see,
thumbs up. It seems
you'd be like, let's see what
highly
the ball
improbable.
cam looks like here as it's going over the fence, and the fan catches the ball, or 100-mile
Virtual
fastball,
baseball.
what that looks like, or a curveball where you're like going up into the stands and all of a sudden you're in the mitt,
It's
I think
hit by a
that'd be
virtual
cool.
pitch.
No.
So, okay, my pitch though for this week. Here's my pitch. So we talked about the
Did you just
virtual
blow my
ballpark.
pitch off? Okay.
Oh, yes.
Did you just
I
blow my pitch
thought you
off
were done
completely?
pitching.
thumbs
Oh
up.
yeah. Usually we vote and talk about it, but that's fine. Blaine, go ahead.
Well, mine goes along with your virtual baseball. So
You showed up late. This is what you get.
That's what I get.
so if
That's
you,
right.
the virtual baseball can fit into my pitch though. So mine is you can pitch is a virtual,
virtual
ballpark. In the
Yeah.
fact that it's not the ballpark itself isn't virtual. You actually go to a real ballpark, but everything else inside of it is virtual.
So you're like, hey, we all want to watch. I can see actually,
50,000 people with headsets on inside of a ballpark
Yeah.
watching a game
But
that's somewhere else.
But think about this. If you use
That's not really that different than going
if
to
you
the
use
stadium.
the Apple Vision headset for this works really well because we could go to our local AAA ball club during the World Series, and they could sell tickets there, and you go in and you get to have a baseball stadium experience. Well, it'd be
And you
really
can watch.
cold.
You can
But
watch the game.
You watch the
from
game
comfort of your home.
from
Yep.
the comfort of your home stadium. You get to have the camaraderie of everyone cheering and yelling at each other and stuff. And you get to have all the fun of waiting in line for overpriced
You'd
drinks.
have to have so much security there because everyone would be wearing these masks and no one would have a clue what's going on. You'd have to have so much security at something like that.
You think?
Like security every
if our
row.
military doesn't have security protocols to stop emails going to the wrong people, I'm pretty sure they're not going to care about a baseball stadium.
Can you imagine sitting there and watching a virtual baseball game and that foul ball comes right at you and you see people flying off chairs and stuff? Going,
They would have to hire people. They got somebody to come over and hit you in the head.
They do.
Slap.
that's a higher level. You have to pay more for that kind of action.
But yes, you could pair that up with your virtual baseball, and you could like tune in to have a view from the baseball.
I like it. Oh, you know what? What you'd have to do? You have to do it just like any of the Madden or Major League Baseball or basketball things. So you switch your player's perspective, and you have cameras on each of the players then too. And you just bounce around, and then you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna be the ball this inning. I'm gonna be the ball the whole time. But there's only it's not a 3D camera, so it's not like focusing which direction. It's just like the camera comes out of one side of this thing, and as it's spinning, you just want to throw up. I mean,
that's exactly what I imagine.
I got a pitch for Billionaire. They should build a spaceship with a testing analysis robot so they don't have to fly back to go pick up the rocks that they find. And we could have got this data about life on Mars and confirmed it way faster. Just
What?
saying.
I must
There's
have
life
missed the
on
Mars
Mars.
thing. Oh, there is.
They found molecules,
Well, we think they have to test it first.
but they have to test it. So we have no idea what's going on and won't for years.
Probably
A long
until
time.
what Misfits goes there with her magic school bus.
So the
Miss
Mars
Frizzle.
rover picked up something,
Yeah. Like
some
some
microbe,
frozen,
and it's
some
and then it's,
frozen water.
and then it's
Some
going to bring it
organic
back,
material.
and someone's going to thaw it out, and we're all going to die. Got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Seen that?
It'll be COVID 2.0.
What is it?
There you go. COVID 2. It'll make COVID 2.0 look like
The blob. The thing.
The thing.
There was
right.
one of my buddies. Was it the? Isn't in the thing at the beginning of the movie they're speaking German?
I don't know, I've never seen it.
It's
Right
been
away
a
at the
long
beg-
time.
I don't know, but my mom
Right
said
away at
it
the
was
beginning, the-
super scary.
Right at the beginning, they're speaking. I think they're speaking German because the guy that I know fluent in German. He was like, yeah, that kind of ruined the whole movie for me because these two guys come out speaking German and describe exactly what's going on and ruins the entire mystery.
Well, that's funny.
That sounds about right.
None of our
Because-
audience will be able to understand this because we're speaking German.
Yeah, he's
It's
like,
not
"Oh,
a popular language at all.
that
Not when that movie came out.
that's unfortunate. So anyway, that's my pitch. Matt, what do you got?
I got nothing.
He's the most uninventive person ever. You don't ever have an idea.
With that, the council meeting is adjourned. Thank you for listening. We do record this podcast live Tuesday nights on YouTube. If you liked what you saw and want to check out all past episodes, you can go to councilcast.org or find us on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher. If you have a topic you would like the council's decision on, you can email us at idon'tcare@councilcast.org or check us out on one of the socials we no longer follow. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.